One of the cool things about bees is if you manage them well, they will do all of the work for you. The fact that when you open up a colony and it's still covered in bees like this year I am taking my beekeeping to the next level. So I have been listening and I picked up a partner that is amazing at breeding queens, and I bought 24 pollination hives. After doing some splits, we are now up to 64 colonies. Yes, 64, so crazy.
If you want to know just how strong these colonies are, haven't even touched these hives yet. Look at how many orientation flights are going on right now.
The road to 100 is coming up so crazy fast. But with all the cold spells that we've been getting up here in Michigan, in order for me to build up these colonies successfully, I need to be smart in the way that I'm splitting my colonies and the way I'm managing them. So am I gonna be able to make it to 100? Stick around and you'll find out. Hey guys, we are back in the bee yard today. I just got off work and came straight here because we have a lot to do today and it's gonna probably take the entire day. So today we are going to be going through the colonies that I split a couple days ago. Actually, no, sorry. The colonies that I split a week ago, and we're going to take stock of all the queen cells that we have and do some more splits if at all possible. My main concern right now is to get mated queens, so that is my number one thing that's on my mind right now, is to mate as many queens as possible, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to build up some really strong splits. So let's get it. Also, hey guys, it's 70 degrees outside today. Like 70s in April for Michigan? Freaking crazy.
But first, let's grab ourselves a snack because there's nothing worse than being in the bee yard hungry. So,
all right, we have all the equipment out here. Got our smoker, got our bee book. The bees are busy. Let's get it. I swear I have so many problems keeping my smoker lit, so if anybody has some suggestions on how to actually keep your smoker going without having to light it literally like every single 5 minutes, please help a girl out.
so what I'm doing in these is I'm looking in them and I'm seeing how many queen cells are in the colony. And in an ideal circumstance, I am wanting to put in one frame that has queen cells on it. Wait a sec, let me tell you exactly what I'm doing so that we're on the same page. So the reason that I'm looking for queen cells is because I'm going into these colonies and I am now splitting them again amongst multiple different nucs. So that I'm, instead of having just one hive that's gonna have a queen, I'm splitting it amongst maybe 3 nucs. So now that I cleared that up, let's get back to how I'm setting up each one of these nucleus colonies. In an ideal circumstance, I am wanting to put in one frame that has queen cells on it, one frame that has resources, and then one frame that has a little bit of comb space but maybe a little bit of brood, and then I'm putting in one frame of empty comb and one frame that needs to be completely built out. That way these colonies are not too jam-packed full of bees. This is one of the things that I'm kind of realizing as I'm going through each one of these deeps, is that, so the reason I split them into just a deep like this is because my theory was that if I keep the colony very strong and large, they're going to create a lot of queen cells. But what I ended up seeing is these deeps, they actually did not create that many queen cells. I don't know if it's because there's too many bees that they're not able to pass around, that they weren't able to tell that there was no queen fast enough because it was kind of like clogging up the hive. Because bees pass their pheromones via touch. So if there's a ton of bees, it's hard for them to pass it through the entire hive in a good time frame. And you guys saw that I put an entire frame of eggs in at least 2 of them in each one of these hives. Yet still they did not use any of those frames for freaking queen cells. They have them all lined on the bottom of the frames for some reason. I probably should have used Mel's OTS notching method, where you just notch the comb so that they can then draw it down, because that might have something to do with it too, that they weren't able to draw down that queen cell off the face of the comb. So yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm splitting each one of these colonies into 2 to 3 colonies. I don't want to have too many bees because I don't want these to be too jam-packed full that it's just way too much. And I want to be able to utilize them the best that I possibly can. Casey and I have also grafted, and we have queen cells in here right now. So worst case, we can always throw any of these in if any of these queens do not actually make it. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
In all honesty, I think I'm kind of going a little bit overboard in terms of so last year I did really, really thin splits. I did single frame splits, and it went good because my hives were able to build up, but I didn't do it correctly. And as a result, I'm kind of like, okay, don't do it that thin. But the thing is it wasn't because the splits were really thin that they didn't do well. It's because one of the mistakes that a lot of new beekeepers make, and that I made myself, is I put one single frame in an entire deep full of empty frames. Don't do that. That's way too much space for a single frame split to be able to maintain and manage on their own, and be able to maintain temperature and whatnot. So yeah, they didn't really build up very fast. It took them the whole entire summer to really get up to size. So yeah, but it also is April here in Michigan, and yes, it is 70s right now, but I am still a little bit wary on doing really small splits, just because next week is supposed to get back down to the 50s again. So I don't really like to do that thin of splits until May time, which that's when I did them last year. But I don't know, this isn't the only way to do things. This is just the way that I'm doing it today, and this is just the way that I'm thinking about it, so take that with what you will.
I want to show you guys something. So I've talked about this on my channel before, but do you hear that roar coming out of this hive? Notice how all the bees are sitting there flapping their wings with their butts in the air. Whenever I see this tells me right away that this hive is queenless. This is called the queenless roar, and what they're doing is they're raising their Nasonoff glands and releasing a pheromone in hopes that possibly a queen will come. But yeah, so whenever you see this is a super easy and fast way to know that your hive is in fact queenless. And actually, this one's a really good example.
And it's as simple as that. I made 11 nucs out of just 2.5 hives, so I think that is a mega win. And got more over here. Don't they look so cute in this bee yard? The nice pop of blue. I realize now this week just how much work I have ahead of myself. I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but I didn't quite realize how much until this weekend when I brought my hives over here, and I realized I started having to make splits, and all the warm weather's here, and now the dandelions are blooming. They're starting to hit a flow, so trying to make use of that the best that I possibly can. And oh my gosh, okay guys, okay, I can't. Every bee suit I ever get has Velcro, which I understand the use of Velcro. Velcro is freaking great, but every single time I put my little thing on, the veil on, it rips my hair out when I take it off because the Velcro sticks to my hair. There has to be a better solution for this. If there are any bee suit making companies around watching this, please find a solution. Okay, bee, I get it. This bee is not happy. But anyways, I am super glad to have help though, because I definitely would not be able to do all of this without Casey to help me. We're able to knock things out way faster than we ever were before, so it really makes a difference having a partner to be able to beekeep with. So I think that's it for me today. I'll see you guys soon. This last week I met a commercial beekeeper out of Illinois, and it was so cool seeing how big their operation was. They have about 10,000 hives both here and also down in Florida, and this is seriously the dream. Oh, that's a lot of bees. Because it syncs with the sand and everything. That makes sense. Yeah, right?